Hi everyone, myself Vamsi Krishna. In this session, I am going to discuss in detail about Spark streaming and its use cases in e-commerce application. Before going deep into Spark streaming, let us understand the scenarios in which Spark streaming can be useful. Let us say an e-commerce company like Amazon or Flipkart or Walmart wants to build a real-time analytics dashboard to optimize its inventory and operations. This dashboard has information of how many products are getting purchased, shipped, and delivered every minute. You can see some sample graph here where we can see how many orders were shipped in 1 minute or how many orders were purchased or delivered. Some dashboard we need to build. How do we build a real-time dashboard with Spark streaming? This is the problem statement, right? Let us discuss how Spark streaming helps in building pipeline for real-time analytics dashboard. As soon as a product is purchased, its status changes. Order management system pushes product ID, product status to Kafka. You can call it as order ID, order time, and order status. It can be anything, product or order, whatever it may be. As and when there is a product status changes, order management system pushes product ID and status to the Kafka. If you see in this diagram, I'm going to use Angular. If somebody is not familiar with Angular applications, you can use Postman also to send data from web to backend, right? We will discuss Kafka installation in the next video, but I'm trying to explain the design what we are going to do now. Once we have the data in the Kafka, Spark streaming reads data from Apache Kafka. Here we have real-time processing Spark. It will read the data from Apache Kafka. Each row of the input stream contains order ID, order date time, order ID, and order status. These are the three fields which we are going to send it to Kafka. And Spark engine, it will process whatever the Spark engine we have. Spark engine will process and generate the stream of output for each message whatever is coming from Kafka. And that message, that output message can be sent to MySQL or Postgres or Elasticsearch or Hive, whatever, depending on your project architecture, for saving the details into a table. Once we have the data, we can show the data in the database in a chart like this. Here I kept some sample chart, order shipped in 1 minute. This data we will get from the Elasticsearch or MySQL or Postgres or Hive, and we can create a dashboard easily. This Spark real-time processing program, it will run forever until it is stopped manually or it encounters some error. You can think the Spark streaming process program as a daemon. Daemon is nothing but a process which runs forever in the background. Spark streaming program keeps on reading the stream of input data and generates the stream for output. This is the project which we are going to implement end to end. And now I will show how to install Angular and how to install Maven and Java so that we can run Spring Boot applications. And in this project, I'm using Apache Kafka. I will show how to create an Apache Kafka cluster. And once we have all this infrastructure ready, we will use Spark program and we will submit the Spark job. And that Spark submit job will start reading the data from the Kafka, which is sent by Spring Boot through the topic. If you see, I have created a topic called order status topic. Using this order status topic, Spring Boot application will send the data to this topic, and Spark application will read the data from this particular topic. We are going to do this end to end. With this setup, let me start creating the infrastructure for this. In this video, as this is an introduction video, I am going to install Angular and I am going to install Java and Maven as well. And in the next video, I will install Apache Kafka cluster. And in the final video, we will see how to integrate Spark with this Kafka, all these things. Let me create a Amazon EC2 instance and install Angular and Java and Maven into that instance. Go to instances. Launch instance. Amazon Linux 2 AMI. And then I am going to take t2.xlarge. Review and launch. Launch. This is my key pair. Let me click on launch instances. I have a server with me. I will say Angular _ Java _ Maven. This server is nothing but, if you see the diagram, here we have various kinds of data sources, which is nothing but how is our data going to generate for our big data application. You can receive the data from network, social media, web, location, and CRM. In this session, I'm going to focus on web data. Whatever the web application we have, through that data, I'm going to send it to Kafka and Kafka to Spark and then to Spark to Elasticsearch, MySQL, Postgres, or Hive. This is the one. If you have a different use case, you can use social media data also, or network data, or you can use location APIs, or you can use CRM like Salesforce also. But this session is designed for web data. If you see my screen, there is some application which I built using Angular. This is the one. When I click add to cart, I'll get something called make payment. When I click on make payment, the order date time, order ID, and order status will be sent to Kafka. Okay, which we are going to see now. For this, I am going to install Angular. Let me grab the IP and connect to that using MobileXterm. SSH remote host, specify username, EC2-user, advanced SSH settings, use private key. This is my key pair. We have the server ready. Now what we are going to do is, first thing is, we need to install Angular CLI on this instance. To install Angular CLI, we need to install latest version of Node.js. You can use Node 10, Node 11, or Node 12. I am going to use Node 12. Shift home. Switch to root in the server and just execute this curl command. You have the repository and then you can install Node.js. I took Amazon Linux 2, you can take RHEL 8 as well. This command will work for both RHEL 8 and Amazon Linux 2. Now we have Node.js. Once we have Node.js, we need to install Angular CLI. npm is nothing but Node Package Manager. Using Node Package Manager, we are installing Angular CLI. We don't need Angular Analytics. I disabled that. Now, once we have the Angular CLI, we can verify ng version. Okay, we have Angular CLI ready. Next, we need to move into application directory. This is Angular code. Either we need to use this code or we can use Postman also to send the data. But as of now, I'll move this code using WinSCP, and from there I'll show how to run this code. And then we can install Java and Maven parallelly as well. First, let me install Java and Maven as well. Then we can see how to move the Angular code and how to run the Angular application also we can see in detail. Let us install Java 8, Java hyphen 1.0.1.8.0 hyphen open JDK. This is one package. This is another package. Let us install. This is the Java hyphen version. We have Java version also ready. And then once we have Java ready, we need to install Maven as well. You can say Apache Maven download. Click on this and you can select the binary tar.gz and go to OPT and just download this binary tar and then execute Maven. And next you need to set Maven home directory in the environment variable. You can use /etc profile.d maven.sh. You can define maven underscore home here. It is in /opt. Let us mention /opt/this one. And then you need to add this maven underscore home to path variable. Export path equal to $path $maven underscore home maven underscore home /bin. Save this file and source this file. Source etc profile.d and then say mvn version. We have mvn version. Now we have Angular CLI ready and we have Java and Maven ready, so that we can start running this Angular CLI application and we can see how to run Spring Boot application as well. This Spring Boot application code is there in my GitHub. You can refer my GitHub. In the Java project repo, I kept Spring Boot Kafka application. This is my repo. But to run the Spring Boot Kafka application, we need to have Kafka also ready. For time being, I will install single node in this application just to see how it is working. But in the next video, I'm going to create a Kafka cluster so that we can run our application on the cluster as well. But to show the Angular and Spring Boot application end to end, I'm going to install Kafka single node in this machine. Let me download Kafka as well. We will use 2.4.0. wget, this is the Kafka URL. You can extract Kafka Kafka is extracted. If someone knows about Kafka already, basically Kafka let consists of broker and zookeeper and producer and consumers. These are the high level components for Kafka. Now what we have to do now is, first we need to start zookeeper. You can see for any architecture diagram for Kafka as well. You can see Kafka architecture. Any Kafka architecture, what it will have is, let's say I'll download one diagram. Assume this is a Kafka architecture, right? Let me save this images so that we can see in our this is our Kafka architecture. This is cluster, but I'm going to install single node in this machine. In the next video, I will install Kafka cluster. If you see this, we have broker and we have zookeeper and we have producers and we have consumers. Broker, what it does is, Kafka cluster typically consists of multiple brokers to maintain load balance. Kafka brokers are stateless, so they use zookeeper for maintaining the cluster state. One Kafka broker instance can handle hundreds of thousands of reads and writes per second, and each broker can handle TB of messages without performance impact. Kafka broker leader election can be done by zookeeper. If you have multiple brokers, who is the leader will be decided by zookeeper. And zookeeper is used for managing and coordinating the Kafka broker. Zookeeper service is mainly to notify producer and consumer about the presence of any new broker in the Kafka system or failure of the broker in the Kafka system. As per the notification received by the zookeeper regarding presence or failure of the broker, then producer and consumer takes a decision and start coordination their task with some other broker. Producers push data to brokers. When the new broker is started, all the producers search it and automatically sends a message to that new broker. Kafka producer does not wait for acknowledgements from the broker and sends messages as fast as the broker can handle. Consumer, as I said earlier, since Kafka brokers are stateless, which means that consumer has to maintain how many messages have been consumed by using partition offset. If the consumer acknowledges a particular message offset, it implies that the consumer has consumed all the messages. This is high level. We have broker, we have zookeeper, we have producer and consumer. Now what I'm going to do is, first I will start zookeeper, then I will start Kafka server, and then I will use producer and consumer to send some sample messages. This is for Windows machine, but we need to look for how to start the server in the Linux machine. For that, go to Kafka folder, and this is the folder structure. If you see, we have something called config file. In the config file, we have zookeeper properties and we have server.properties. Now I'm not going to change anything because I'm trying to run a single node cluster. But when I'm doing the multi-node cluster in the next video, I'm going to change server.properties so that I can add the other nodes details. In the config, that is the files, go to bin. Here you have zookeeper server start and you have Kafka server start. These are the two shell script files which we are going to use to start the cluster. To start zookeeper server.start, you need the config file as well. For that, what we can do is, we can say sh bin slash zookeeper server start dot sh, and for this we need to give zookeeper dot properties. If you run this command, it will run directly, but I want to run this in background. For that, let me give nohup command. Nohup you give and say ampersand in the end. Nohup sh bin slash zookeeper server dot sh config slash zookeeper dot properties. Enter. Now you can see 2181 port is already running. Netstat hyphen plant pipe grep colon 2181. This is running a Java process. The prerequisite for Kafka is Java. As we install Java already, Zookeeper started. In the same way, we need to start Kafka as well. Nohup bin slash Kafka server dot server hyphen start dot sh config slash server dot properties. This is the one and ampersand in the end, so that I'll run this also in background. Start this, and this one runs on 9092 port. We have server also ready. From this diagram, we have Zookeeper ready and we have broker ready. And next we are going to produce and consume. That logic I have kept in my GitHub. You can go for my GitHub repository. This is my GitHub repository, Vamsi Tech Tutors. Here there is a repository called Java project repository. Here I kept Spring Boot Kafka application. Click on this, or you can go back and go to clone or download and say, you can come back and say git clone. This is the clone repository. Git is not there. Let me install git as well. This is git. Git is installed. Now you can execute git clone command. Now we have the Java repository. Go into the Java project repo, and now what you can do is, here this is a Spring Boot application which is built on top of Maven. You can go to src main resources, and you can see here there is a file called application.yaml. Here I mentioned localhost colon 9292. This will work because Kafka is running in this machine. If you have a multi-node Kafka cluster, you need to have comma separated broker details. This is Bootstrap servers. As of now, I have only single node. This will work for me. And next thing is, in the code, this is src main Java. This is a Java application, src main Java. In src main Java, I have a file called producer.java. You can see producer.java. There is a topic called order status. Basically, this topic is nothing but Kafka topic. I need to create a topic called order status before running this project, or you can create it after running the project also. As of now, we have server ready. This is the topic, orders hyphen status. Let me run this application, then you will understand easily. Go to Java project repo, and you can say mvn, go to Spring Boot Kafka application, and you can say mvn spring hyphen boot colon run. Mvn spring hyphen boot colon run. You can take another terminal so that we can create Kafka topic. To create a Kafka topic, you need to mention, this is a shell script, you need to mention Zookeeper URL. Zookeeper is running on 2181 port, so that we can use this command to create Kafka topic. Go to Kafka directory, go to bin, and here you have Kafka topics create. This is the one, Kafka topics sh. You can run this command. Kafka topics sh, create this one. Okay, we need to say Kafka topics.sh because I didn't mention the sh, and mention these details. Okay, now the topic will be created. If you see created topic order status, and now it says topic order status is not present. I already created the topic. Now you can run the application. Now our application is ready. Now we have Spring Boot application ready and Kafka topic ready. Now we can start the Angular UI application, and we can start sending the data from Angular applications to Spring Boot. Spring Boot application will send the data to Apache Kafka through the topic which we created just before some time, order status topic. Let me move my code from Windows to Linux machine using WinSCP. For that, I need to enable password authentication /etc sshd_config. Here there will be something called permit root login. I can say it as yes, and then there will be password authentication. I will mention no to yes, and save this file. Service sshd restart. Now I will create password for root. Done. Now open WinSCP and move the code through WinSCP. Host name. Copy the host name. Username root. Password whatever you kept. Login. Now we connected to the EC2 instance. Now I have my code here. Let me copy and paste here. If you are not familiar with Angular CLI, you can use Postman also. I will show that way as well after this. Once Angular CLI approach is done, I will show how to hit the APIs from Postman as well. For that, we need to make couple of changes. It may take some time because this is a very huge file. In the meantime, I'll take you through the code, what exactly we have configured. For the UI application to talk with Spring Boot application, we need to enable cross origin. I'll show you where I have done that as well. cd src main java. This is the path. Go into org example. This is my project. Here, if you see, there is something called Kafka controller, right? This is the cross origin. This cross origin will accept the request from Angular. If you don't add this cross origin, your Angular application cannot talk with the Spring Boot application. If you are not worried about this, I don't want to use Angular CLI, I can directly hit this application and I want to proceed, means you need to comment out this and then you need to run the application without this so that we can hit through Postman. Until the UI code is uploaded, what I will do is I will show the other approach which I was mentioning. If somebody is not comfortable with Angular CLI, you can directly use Postman to send the data to this particular application. Let me stop this application and make the changes and run now. Here we can open Kafka controller and you can remove this line cross origin. You can keep remaining same. Now what you can do is same thing. You can again run mvn spring-boot :run so that through Postman we can hit this application. cd java project repo, cd Spring Boot Kafka application and say mvn spring-boot :run. The Spring Boot is very good for microservice based application. In this example, I may be taking 3 or 4 fields, but if it comes to real world, it will be n number of fields, but the approach will be same. Now I am running the application. Now the application started again. Now we have this application ready, and what we can do is I will quickly show you the API, whatever I exposed. cd how to call this API I will show. This is the Postman. You need to have Postman or you can use curl command also. Whoever is comfortable with what approach, they can use that. This is the URL I exposed. http://localhost:9000. This 9000 port I mentioned in application.yaml/kafka/read data from web UI. For this, you need to pass the body of this. If you are not familiar, you can use curl command also. I'll show that as well. You can do curl post JSON data. If somebody is not comfortable with using Postman, you can use curl as well. This is the command. We'll make couple of changes to this. Okay, curl -x post method content type application JSON. Data is nothing but this is the data. I want to send this data. Order, date, time. I want to send this data. I can use this. And my request URL is this one. Okay, now we have data ready. Copy this command and execute this on the server side. These are the application logs. Observe clearly. Once I execute that curl command, you will see the data here, because in the code I printed the consumer data. Till the time Spark is not coming into picture, you can see what data is being consumed here. Once we have Apache Spark and streaming job ready, I'll remove the consumer from the Spring Boot application, so that Spring Boot application produces the data and Apache Spark streaming job will consume the data. For a time being, I am going to produce and consume the data from Spring Boot application, because I didn't introduce this layer yet. Once we have this layer, Spring Boot will produce the data to the Apache Kafka and Spark will read the data from Apache Kafka. Let me execute this curl command. I executed the curl command. If you see, we have consumed the message. This is the message we have consumed. And if you want to see the message in detail, what I can do is, I have a overridden method. Let me replace that as well. Let me stop this and go to the code. CD Java project repo, Spring Boot Kafka application, CD src main Java vi cd org example vi .java. Here I commented this. You can uncomment this so that you can see the details easily. It is printing hash code of the Java object, which you may not be aware of this. Now you run the Spring Boot application again. CD Java project repo Spring Boot application and run mvn spring-boot : run. Now you can execute this command again to send the data. You can see the consumed message in proper format. Run from here. Now I am sending order date time, order ID, order status. Now I send the data. If you see, we got the consumed message, right? That means Spring Boot application is able to produce the message and Spring Boot application is able to consume the message as well. If you see, order date time, order ID, order status. In the next video, I will show how to create a Kafka cluster and using Spark, how to integrate with Kafka and how to consume the message which Spring Boot is sending, and then how to persist the data to Postgres. We are going to see in the next upcoming videos. Thanks for watching this video. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel.